Okay, there we go, there we go. Okay. Hello, welcome, episode 3. This is the Endless TBR. My name is Christian. Thanks for being here to watch this video where I talk about the books that I'm currently reading because I love reading books. So what better thing to do than to document my reading process? And if you've been here for the past couple weeks, couple things are different. One, the lighting might look really weird. This is my first video doing it at night. I have a window right here that usually has a lot of natural lighting, and there's not any natural light coming in right now, so if the video looks really weird, that's why. I'm still figuring all of this out when it comes to videotaping and lighting and all of that. You're gonna see the camera move around. Like today, I have it farther back because I thought my face looked really fuzzy in the last two videos. So I'm like, maybe I'm too close to it. So I have that back a little bit, and I put some blue lights behind my shelves. Actually, they're LED lights. They can be any color, but I love the color blue. So I have blue lights in there just as a little backlighting on my bookshelves. So I'm going to be constantly playing around with these videos and the lighting and all of that. So if it seems just like whiplash going back and forth, that's the reason why. I've never done this, and I'm continuing to figure it out as we go. But hopefully when I'm watching this video, I'll look a little clearer and the lighting won't be as whack next time. But I wanted to make sure to make a video today because I'm trying to keep myself on a pretty steady bi-weekly basis. I missed out on Thursday, which is the day that I usually record videos. Today's currently Saturday the 7th, so I was like, I need to get in there. I'm after work. Let's make a video. If I don't keep it, if I don't hold myself accountable, I'm going to start slacking a little bit. So definitely want to sit down and record. And yeah, let's jump into it. So this is going to be my kind of May reading recap and then my June TBR. We're a little bit into June, I know, but that's okay. Better late than never. So if you've watched my previous two videos, I had all the books that I laid out for May. I mentioned in my last week video, or my episode 2, that I was a little bit behind my May TBR, which unfortunately I did not meet. I got a little bit too crazy. Maybe it was because it was my first video, so I wanted to be super ambitious and lay out all these books that I was going to read. But then I realized May, I had my midterm for my summer A class in college, and that took a lot of time up. And then I also work full time, so I was like, oh shoot. So I did not meet my May reading TBR goal, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you what I did read. If you watched episode 2 last week, you'll have already seen 3 of these books, but I'm just going to do a quick recap. So the first book that I read was The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. Wonderful. The second book that I read, technically this is 8 books, but they're all children's books, so I don't know, it felt weird being like, I read 8 books, and then it's just, they're all like 100-page children's novels. So this is the 8-book collection of Beltora Quest. I have it all in the 1 through 8. So I just counted this as one book. Like on Goodreads, I just rated it as one book. Like I said, it's 8 books, but it felt kind of weird counting it as 8 books. So that was the second book I read. Third book I read was Midnight Horizon from the High Republic, Star Wars. And then the third book, the one that I read between the last video I made and this video, is this one right here, The Sisterhood of Dune, Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson, all right? So those are the books that I did end up reading for May. Real quick, I'm just going to rank them. Now, I'm probably going to do this every single time, rank them from least enjoyable to most enjoyable. I just want to say this is a ranking based off of how much I personally enjoyed reading the book. When you look at it from an objective standpoint, there's probably going to be a lot of discrepancies in that. I'll point out what I mean with these books once you see my order, but these rankings are just my personal ranking for what I enjoyed reading the most to what I enjoyed reading the least. I will say all 4 of these books I enjoyed reading a lot. Every single book got either 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads when I ranked them, but real quick, let's go from the top. So my least favorite book of the month was Midnight Horizon. Like I said in the last video, I still liked it a lot. I understood the criticisms of it from other people's perspective, and I definitely had criticisms of the final act, but overall I didn't think it was nearly as bad as a lot of people I've heard say it was. Pardon me. It's definitely one of the lowest rated Phase 1 novels, and I wouldn't put it that low. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But we had that. This is where you're going to see the subjectivity come into play versus the objectivity. Second to last, I have Agatha Christie, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Objectively, this is a better book than the first and second place, but I'm a fantasy and sci-fi guy. Those are my favorite things. I love this book a lot. Definitely my favorite of the three Agatha Christie books that I've read so far. And just everything about it and the twist at the end. Oh my god! But I'm gonna put this at third, and then second place I will put Sisterhood of Dune right here. So my thoughts on this, I didn't get to go into it last video because I was still in the process of reading it, but I really enjoyed this book. So last week I went into how I read the Legends of Dune trilogy, Butlerian Jihad, Machine Crusade, Battle of Corrin, and my overall ranking of that trilogy was that it was way too inflated. Like, there's way too much going on. I feel like that trilogy could have been condensed into one beefy book, but one book nonetheless, cut out a lot of the subplots. So I was hoping going into the Schools of Dune trilogy that it would feel less inflated like that, and I will say it definitely did. There's still a lot here. There's still like 5, 6, 7 different subplots going on at the same time. But unlike the Legends of Dune trilogy, I felt like you could see it starting to crisscross and all of the different paths start to come together within this book, whereas with the other trilogy, some of those paths I didn't see till book 2, sometimes even book 3, of where, okay, where's this actually going? So I really enjoyed in this book that you could see how all of the different point of view characters were going to come together. And there's just there's a great conflict that happens in this book between the Butlerians, who are very anti-technology, and all the other different factions, like the Sisterhood, who want to use technology to preserve the DNA archives, and the Sook Doctors, who want to use technology to save people's lives and do medicine. And who else is there? There's another group I was thinking of. Oh goodness, it's not coming to my head, but all these different groups that want to use technology, and then you have the Butlerians after the fallout of the Machine Wars, who are just going around destroying everything that they can find that's even related to technology. So, Venport, that was the other one, the company that's using the space folding craft to do shipping of spice and stuff like that. So I love that conflict. I want to see where it's going to go in books 2 and 3, which I did buy earlier in May. Very excited to start those. But yeah, overall, of the 4 Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson books that I've read so far, this one is definitely my favorite. It's this one, and then the Butlerian Jihad, the first of the Legends of Dune trilogy, would be right behind there. Like, that one I enjoyed reading a lot, but this just felt refreshing. It felt nice that it didn't feel like, oh my gosh, can we just get to the plots that I want to read about, because all this other stuff is just bogging it down. This had a nice pace, and I enjoyed it a lot. So very excited for books 2 and 3. And then that leaves my favorite of the month of May, which was Del Toro Quest. There we go. I'm trying to avoid the shadows. I gotta start doing this. The light's over there. I gotta start doing this. Del Toro Quest. If you saw my last video, I raved about these books. So much fun. I have books 2 and 3 in my Amazon cart as we speak. I just have to buy them. But can't say enough about this. It hit me with the childhood nostalgia. I thought it was a great fantasy series for all ages, especially children, but as an adult, I still got a lot out of this. A lot of horrifying visuals, a lot of great lessons and morals that hit our characters throughout. So I loved it so much. Del Toro Quest, definitely my favorite. Like I said, these little rankings, these are just my personal enjoyment levels. Do I think that Sisterhood of Dune is a better objective book than The Murder of Roger Ackroyd? No. But as far as my enjoyment level, that's how I would rank those 4 books that I read, alright? So, now let's get into what I'm reading now. So if you watched my very first video, my May TBR, the 2 books that I did not get to were The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson and A Court of Wings and Ruin, the 3rd book in the ACOTAR series. So I will say right now, I am reading A Court of Wings and Ruin. There we go. There she is. You can see my bookmark there. I'm very close. I'm about 2/3 of the way through this book, I would say. About 2/3 of the way. Got about 150 pages left. Let me say, I know what people think about these books. I know they either love it or they think it's the worst thing ever. When I read ACOTAR, the first book, I said that I liked it to my fiance at the time. She bought me the box set. Looking back, I didn't care for that book very much at all, but I was like, you know, I own all the books. I'm going to read all of them. I told her I liked it. Then I read A Court of Mist and Fury, and I was like, whoa, okay, I actually did enjoy this book a lot. ACOTAR, not so much. Then I could openly say, yeah, the second book is way better than the first book. That's exactly how I feel about this book. I know that this is not like highbrow literature, and it's not, you know, super, you know, I know it's like almost young adult smut, like with just some crazy fantasy plots, but I'm having so much time reading this book. Last night, I stayed up a couple hours past when I should have gone to bed to get to work because I just couldn't put it down. I'm in the part, not to spoil anything, but stuff is really popping off. Like the conflict is really coming to a head here, and I'm just having so much fun reading this book. I am going to try to finish this either tonight or tonight and tomorrow night. Like that is my goal within the next 2 days to finish this book, mostly because I just want to see how it ends. But I'm really enjoying this book a lot. Is it going to be in like a top 10 or a top 25 of all time for me? Definitely no. But when I look back upon the starting trilogy of the ACOTAR books, I think I'm going to remember them fondly. And that's really due to books 2 and 3. Because now the more I think about it, the first ACOTAR book, I didn't really care for it. But the second and third book have been really good. So that's what I'm reading currently, one of them. And then the other book I'm reading currently is a classic. Forgive all the stickers on my books. I get a lot of books from Books A Million in the discount section, so they have stickers all over them. I'm always really scared to peel the stickers off. But I'm reading The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This one's, I don't remember buying it, but my fiance says that I was the one that bought it. I believe her. But it's been sitting on my shelf for a very long time, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I want to read that book. We watched the Tom Cruise movie not too long ago. Like it's been a couple months, but we did watch it, and I looked at this book on my shelf, and it was not on my TBR radar at all. But I saw it, I remembered the movie, and I was like, I want to read it. I just want to read it. What I did not know, I did not do a lot of research, so I read the first couple chapters. Which, by the way, the opening chapter of this book, freaking awesome. Like, so cool. It mirrors the Morgan Freeman monologue at the beginning of the movie. But I thought the opening chapter was so cool. How it talks about humans going about their day-to-day, unaware of, like, the larger schemes across the galaxy and all that stuff. A couple of chapters in, I was really curious when this book was written, because like I said, I didn't do any research. I wasn't familiar with H.G. Wells and like when he grew up and lived his life. So I had guessed that this book was going to be around like maybe like the 20s to the 40s, like 1920s, 1940s. This book was written in 1898. I will say that it does not come across that way at all. When I think of books from the 1800s, I think of like, oh gosh, like, you know, old literature, tough to read. Definitely not. Like, it's very accessible when it comes to the writing. Like, it doesn't feel like, you know, one of those classic books where you're like, what the heck are they? What are all these words? Like, there's only been a couple words that I've had to look up because I didn't know what they meant because they were outdated terms. But yeah, and what I'll say, it's probably not a popular opinion. I don't know. When I look at this book from a historical perspective, also, by the way, I'm about halfway through it. It's a skinny book. It's a little deceiving because the pages are kind of big and the print's not huge. So even though it's super skinny, it's actually taken me a little bit longer than I thought it would. I thought when I picked it up, I was like, oh, this is like a day or two at most. But it's been a couple days. I still need to finish it. Historically, I think this is really, really cool. Like, when you look at, okay, 1898, you know, this seems to be like the birth of science fiction to a degree. Like, a lot of people that I've seen online have said, like, this is it. When it comes to alien invasion novels, this was what popularized it. Ton of respect for it from that regard. I'm in awe of some of the concepts in here based on that time period. And I'm like, how did this guy think of this stuff? But when I compare it to modern day science fiction, and I know it's not fair, but it's a little boring. It's a little boring. Like, and that's my opinion. You know, I compare it to other science fiction books I've read, more modern books. This one definitely crawls a little more. The action isn't as descriptive, and I definitely don't feel as immersed in it as I have in other like alien invasion type books. But I appreciate it a lot. I'm sure when I'm done with it, I'm gonna enjoy having read it. Goodness. But as of right now, that's what I'll say. Like, appreciate it a lot for what it is, but it's not the most thrilling book I've ever read. But still, nonetheless, excited to finish reading it. So those are the two books I'm reading right now. Could not pick two more opposite books, right? Sarah J. Maas, ACOTAR, and H.G. Wells, but that's kind of what I do. I like to read all over the place. So I'm going to get into the rest of the books that I want to read for June. So I overshot in May. I want to try not to do that, but I still technically have quite a few books here. I think I can do it this time, though. I think I can do it. So first on my list is obviously going to be one of the books from May that I didn't get to read, and that is Brandon Sanderson, The Well of Ascension. Loved Mistborn. Super excited to get into this. Actually, one of my friends from work just finished the entire trilogy, so I have to ask her what she thought of that. I just noticed a scratch that I think my cat put on this book, and it makes me really sad because I like it when my books are in pristine condition and I see this like big old scratch on the side. You won't be able to see it from here, but I just noticed it and I was like, oh man. But yes, so definitely this is the book that I need to finish this month, because I said I was going to finish it last month, so I'm going to do it this month. Then, keeping on with Star Wars, because Star Wars The High Republic Phase 3 ends this month in June, so I really need to kickstart and catch up on that. So I have Tales of Light and Life, which I don't know what this is. I own it. I should know what it is. I think it's a series of short stories or like novellas set in the High Republic. I don't know. I know it's got a lot of different authors down here, so I think it's a series of short stories. I don't know. I just know canonically it's next in the line of things I have to read in the High Republic, so I have this. I think this will be a nice short read for me because it's like YA sized and pretty big print. So that will be another book that I'm going to try to read this month. And then lastly, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know I like to pick a nostalgic read of the month. I've made a huge list on my phone of all the different books and book series I've read throughout my childhood, and I want to revisit all of them. That's what Del Toro Quest was for me last month. And this month, this was not on my radar. I actually just bought this like a couple weeks ago, but I saw this. It's The City of Ember, and it's the box set. There's 4 books in here. I have only ever read the first City of Ember book. I've never read The Prophet of Sparks, The People of Sparks, sorry, The Diamond of Darkhold, and The Prophet of Yonwood. Never read those 3, but I remember reading The City of Ember as a kid and loving it. And I saw this box set out and about, and I was like, I'm going to pick it up, and I want to read it immediately, because I remember reading City of Ember as a kid, thinking it was really cool. All I really remember is it was people, and I believe an underground city, and there's an energy crisis happening, and if I remember correctly, they get out at the end, but I don't know. It's been so long, but I just saw this. It hit some sort of nostalgic bone in my body, and so I picked it up. I am going to try and read all 4 of these books this month, because they're like, I think they're middle grade novels, if I'm not mistaken, and they're not very long, and they're pretty big print, and it looks like pretty easy reading. Yeah, opening it up, like, let's see, this one, I mean, it is still almost 300 pages, but it looks like pretty easy reading. So that is going to be my goal, is to finish those by the end of the month. So technically that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, 4 of them being middle grade novels, of course. But that is going to be my goal for June. I'm really going to try to hit this one, because I don't want to do 2 months back to back where I don't hit my goal. Then I feel like I look foolish. But I was going to dial back in and not include another book, but I'm like, nah, I got this. I got to commit. I got to nail down my reading. So, but yeah, so that's all I've been up to. I plan on hopefully making these videos on a bi-weekly basis. Like I said, I don't read enough to where I feel like I need to make these on a weekly basis, because I won't have too much to update on. If I ever do read a lot in a week, then I might make weekly videos, and as I hit different reading goals, like eventually when I read all of the Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson books in Dune, I want to rank them all. And eventually when I read all the, the Stephen King books, I want to rank them all. It's just going to take me a while to get there. When I eventually read The High Republic, all of it, I want to rank it all. I want to do all the rankings. So I'll make videos like that. But for right now, I'm just going to stick to this bi-weekly because I feel like it fits into my schedule well. And after 2 weeks, I feel like I have enough to talk about to where I can make like a nice 20-minute or so video. Which, speaking of, that's where we're at now. So I'm going to end it. But thanks for watching again. I'll catch you in 2 weeks or so. And wish me luck. I'm really going to, I promise I'm going to meet my reading goal this month. That is the ultimate goal. So now I need to figure out where my remote is. There we go. I'm still figuring this out. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to end the video. It's going to be smooth this time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.